fucking police. Call the fucking police. Call the fucking police. This is what this is, babe.
I will call the police.
Babe, this man put his neck on me. This boy, this is man with me.
I think people are misunderstanding the order of things with this Peckham thing, yeah? So, at 12:59, yeah, she wanted a refund. He said there's no refund policy. She then went to pick up some stuff to replace it, tried to leave. He says no. He stands at the door. He said this on TV. He stands at the door, and obviously I can't really show this part, but he gives her a hard push, and that's when she slaps him. That's when he grabs her, brings her in to freaking strangle her. This guy actually strangles the customer. After she retaliates, uses the basket to obviously hit him, breaking the basket, and has the handle. She then uses the handle to beat him here. I have to hide that. And then, if you look at the timestamp, I have to hide that as well. 1 p.m. 1 p.m. 1 minute. So that's the order of events, because people are saying she beat him first, and then that's not what happens. Just look at the timestamp, bruv. He was pushing her, and she pushed him back. That doesn't mean strangle her, bro. Like, what?
Okay, I just want to start off by saying in no way, shape or form should any man be strangling a woman. Like, he should have handled that way better. However, right, this is why I waited a little bit to see the full story. Okay, so you can clearly see she came with 1 or 2 packets. I can't really tell, right? Now here you can see that she tried to leave with about 10 packets. So she basically stopped. I feel like us as the black community, we really need to ask ourselves, is it equality that we want or is it privilege that we want? Because equality looks like a foreigner has come to the country, he's built his business, he just doesn't accept the refunds, and you as another foreigner, you just allow him to run his business how he wants to and figure out something to do with your hair. Privilege, on the other hand, looks like kicking up a fuss, stealing things from the store, slapping the security guard as soon as he tries to stop you from stealing, throwing the car in his blood clot eye, and then telling everyone to protest for your rights. Which one are we looking for? Is it privilege or is it equality? Like, us as a black community, we really need to start holding our people accountable, because it's getting frustrating how we go out and we do some ridiculous stuff and then we turn around and say, well, you're being racist. No, this is not a race issue. This is definitely a criminal issue, and no one should be going outside talking about Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, because what you're really trying to say is that black thieves matter. In no way, shape or form should you now come and be stealing things because they didn't want to give you a refund. Is this what we're protesting for?
Okay, so TikTok has taken down my video, and so I just want to clarify something. If somebody comes into your shop, and this is about that black woman being strangled by that South Asian man, and she asks for a refund and it was disputed, then usually the customer is always right, isn't it? That's what they practice in customer services, and that you sort of, give the customer or allow the customer that refund to practice and to promote good customer services. If that doesn't happen, and the customer then goes off to try and allegedly steal the product, then you just go and call the police and get the law involved. Although I know that's not probably a good option, but however, that's what we have to do. There's no need now for you to take matters into your own hands and attempt to assault your customer, attempted murder in terms of trying to strangle your customer. There's no need for you to go to that length in order to squabble over a hair product. It's not that deep, as young people would say. So you call the law, don't you? Or you practice good customer service in terms of offering that refund so that that customer can come back again. And so it's a race issue, because I'm sort of wondering, would you treat other customers who are non-black or like that? Or because some of your comments on there, you were referring to that black woman as an animal, and there were lots of negative terminology in terms of jungle, and also associating the black community with being thieves. And so that was why it's racist, because we know that not every South Asian people that have shops, it's not always legit. I end.
Perform should any man.
I absolutely hear what she's saying, but at the end of the day, when are we going to stand just to stand, okay? This man put his giant hands around our sister's neck. I don't care what she was doing. I don't care about the politics. I don't care about the principle. All that goes to hell. There's no need for this amount of strength on this person. I don't care what she was doing. Right? I really don't care. There's always a better way to deal with our sisters. I really don't care what she was doing. And that's the truth. At the end of the day, your hands don't need to be around her neck. And what I feel is a lot of us was triggered from that video. A lot of us was triggered. So we can sit here and we can try and pick it apart, and we can try to make sense of it, and we can try to blame her. His hands should have never made it around her neck. Period. Yes, protect your store. Yes, do what you gotta do. But do it in a way where she is not going to be harmed, especially with your hands around her neck. Let me tell you something. This is what we're talking about. If that was a white woman, and I'm not talking about them black white woman, I'm talking about a white woman. Yeah, they would have found a more gentle way to deal with that situation. Matter of fact, they would have locked the doors, kept her in, called the police. But his hands would have never made it around that white woman's neck. And it's strange to me how black people will see a man put his hands around one of ours necks, and then they will justify it. They'll try and be political about it. They'll try to be proper about it. There's nothing proper about this, right? I see another man say she was stealing. They don't say, oh, she went into the store for a refund. We, the black people, be spending the most money up in these shops, and you can't give a sister a refund or even a swap. All our money go there, all. And you can't even swap the product, right? You can't even exchange it, okay? And what we need to be talking about is creating our own and getting them out of our community. Because look at this. Go in them white communities and let me know if you see them Asian shop set up. Let me know. Those white people ain't going to have it. Those white communities ain't going to have it. But they setting it up in the black community. Letting the black community money go to a whole different race. What are you guys talking about? Let's talk about what we need to be talking about. Peckham. Let's talk about what we need to be talking about. Our black communities. Let's talk about how we going to get our black money into our black families and our black businesses so that we don't got to deal with things like this. Let's talk about that. Okay? Let's stop picking this video apart. At the end of the day, he put his hands around her neck and it triggered us. It triggered us, which we have our right to feel triggered because we've been watching our people be mistreated, killed, and abused for too long. I'm even surprised Peckham did this peacefully. I was looking forward to the uproar. I was looking forward to it. I was looking forward for a statement. Right? But we want to be political. We want to be political. We want to have principles and have things in order and proper. He wasn't having things in order and proper when his big giant hands made it around her neck. And I don't even understand why I'm seeing black men speak against this woman. I do not care if she was stealing. The force was too much. You don't need all that force with that woman. You don't. You don't. And he don't need to be all up in her face. Go and lock the door, call the police, and let it be handled properly. And I even see why they need to call police in Peckham. Where's the black people that they can call to resolve some stuff? Where's the black groups that they can call to resolve some stuff when it comes to our people? Where is it? Where is it? He was wrong. He should have never put his hands around her neck. That is a store. Guess what's going to happen in your store? There's going to be problems. There's going to be situations. There's going to be issues. Every business owner knows this. So you need to know how to handle your customers with care. And that's on everything, period. I don't want to hear I don't want to hear about no principles, political or correctness from no black person. I want to hear why his hands was around her neck. I want to hear why he was in her face. I want to hear why he didn't handle that better. I want to hear why he didn't just go and close that door, back away from her, and call who he needs to call. This grown-ass, big, giant-looking man. And y'all still defending it. Some of y'all, you're going to defend it regardless. Y'all just want our people to act like they're not hurt. She has a right to return her products if they're not meeting her needs. Us who's always up in them damn hair store spending our money. They're getting rich off of our backs in our community. She has a right to return her stuff. And she also has a right to be treated better. You don't need his hands around her neck. No, you don't.
You're gonna start beating me, and what should I do? It's not choking. Like at the moment, my hand was like one hand was at the back. Okay, I was like detaining her. It wasn't an intentional like. It just like get around her neck randomly. Definitely, I have regrets. That's why I'm talking to you like that. These are the regrets. Like when I told the police officer I don't want to press the charges.
That's the lady in the shop, and he wants her out. And that's what he did yesterday. And they arrested her, and didn't arrest him. In the last 2 hours since we've been here since 2 o'clock. They've now released her from the police station.
Wow.
So she's still overnight. I don't know, but they arrested her yesterday. This man has not been arrested. And what we are demanding is that business closed down and that this man is held accountable for his action. That's it. And that's why we are here, standing in solidarity. Take a sheet of the paper, write your comments, stick it on there. But this is not right. This is not. No. Well, he opened this morning, then he had to close. Did he? Yeah. But look at him strangling her. Strangling her.
Daughter, somebody's sister. Is that the Daily Mail? That's somebody's child.
Because
your child is
product. Yeah.
Daily Mail.
No, we don't need to.
I think this whole incident at the hair shop in Peckham is part of a wider conversation about how brands and businesses and organisations make profit off of black consumers, but in reality have no regard for said black consumers despite making money off them. Every black woman knows the feeling of entering a black hair shop owned by non-black people to purchase black hair products, and just the treatment you get, like, it's always very off. Another example on like a less consumerish level is the hostility the black event organizers face, like the recesses, the DLTs, the hostility they face when wanting to put on black events, play black music in spaces and venues that aren't owned by black people. Those are both like micro, quite local examples, but even on a wider scale, this happens all the time. If you remember the Tarte brand trip that happened a few months ago that had TikTok going crazy. Tarte, a makeup brand, it invited black influencers and content creators onto this trip. Again, it looks fantastic. Yeah, they're championing black creators, but in reality, they treated those creators horribly. It was financially beneficial to have those people present, but there was no value for them as black creators. That's the thing, like most of these brands and businesses, they value black consumerism. They just don't value black consumers the same way, and there is a difference. Why for me, like Blackout Tuesday was air, complete air, because it was some of these brands that we had to come and drag by the singlet and say something, support us. And the thing with that as well is they do that because they know they can get away with it, because we'll still show up and we'll still buy the products. Like this guy puts his greasy, fat-infested fingers around this lady's neck because he knew he could get away with it. So I know it feels like this was just a one-off situation, one boss man on the street in Peckham, but realistically, it's indicative of a wider system of brands and businesses who value black consumerism, but they don't place value on black consumers, and they do that because they know they can, and there's no repercussions.
Their days on the Peckham High Street as a hair shop is finished. You came and manhandled a woman of colour in Peckham and you expected no backlash? You're mad. I'm even surprised they're not breaking down the walls right now, knowing people. They're lucky. They're lucky. Peaceful protest was the best you're getting. It was the best deal and they should be happy. But God knows they're packing up. They shouldn't open up tomorrow. Just be selling the business. But what? Someone said clearance sale. I don't know who, but I'm there still.
Yes. The same way they stood beside us, no matter what. No matter what. And this is how we shut these things down. Economically, we shut it down. That's right. Put them in the pocket. We need to create a new ecosystem, our own ecosystem, where we spend money in our stores. So they cannot treat us this way. Come on. These are our streets.